So wise.
Super wise and super serious.
Super intelligent.
Remember wisdom. Dumb is also a part of it. Or dun 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 dun. Is it a namaste or is it a shark? Dun 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 dun. If it's a really good satsang, there'll be no trace of anyone else here. Hello and welcome to this time together. To the satsang. Ay, Dios mío, qué bueno que the air conditioner turned on. Please, can you please turn it off for me? Gracias. Just put it on off. I love this satsang option. At one point, I think I'm going to stop calling it Human Beautiful Satsang and start calling it We Got Options, people. We got options here. Hey, we got options. Who? You're too good of a satsang student. That's so good. Who's got options? You got options until you realize you don't.
No, it's only half of the reality. It's not yes or no. It's just half of the reality.
Of course,
You
but
don't
it's
want
so beautiful,
all
this
the half.
option. So lovely, this option to recognize that, most of us don't know that we have the option to be here without the focal point being our identity, or without being here through the filter of story, through the filter of time, through the filter of age, through the filter of uh, one's one's personality, through the filter of the phone, through the filter of whatever our attention might be on. It's such a sweet option to recognize. And, it's kind of like we have all these different avatar options. So we can switch, let's say we identify more so as a star seed, or a being from this dimension, or from this density, or coming from this star system, or having this vibration, or choosing a different narrative. And that's wondrous. That's part of the definitely a beautiful evolution to simply having a profound allegiance to the name we were given, the identity we were given, the body we were given, the gender we were given, the all the different labels that we've been given. But what I really love about the option of satsang and our timeless time here together is to feel into and consider the option of not having to be anyone at all, not having to be good or bad, not having to be evolved or unevolved, not having to be enlightened or ignorant, not having to be the one with the high vibration or the low vibration, and then the high vibration and then the low vibration, not having to be the spiritual one, not having to be the unspiritual one, not having to be the, you name it, the this, the that, the, not at all denying any of that, but recognizing options in this moment. Who am I? And it's also really interesting, this satsang option is to recognize that this isn't, we could say this is the space that allows for all options to come and go. This is an identity that isn't dependent on descriptions. All other identities are description dependent. So we have to tell a story about who we are and tell a story about where we are. Tell a story about what is. Tell a story about where we're going. Tell a story about where we came from. Tell all kinds of stories. And then we live a life where our stories come from stories. Our story comes from stories. The story we tell comes from our story. And so it's kind of like in the allegiance to our story of an identity, there's only a certain amount of words and letters available to us to, and situations and pages of this book of an identity to borrow from, to attempt to create a new story. And so there sometimes we can feel very limited. You know, it's kind of like, I remember it was so sweet. Many years ago, my mom, you know, it was probably about 22 years ago or something, she was not happy with where she was living, and they had a condo, uh, probably about 20, no, maybe an hour away from the beach in Florida. And she was really missing the ocean, and she was living there with my grandmother and her boyfriend at the time. And I remember I was like, Mom, you know, why don't we, let's have a guided meditation moment. I love a guided meditation. What a sweet permission slip to consider other options. What a sweet permission slip to soften, to kind of melt the butter, to heat up the claymation of this experience, this hologram, this projection. And so, you know, when she first lied down, and I was like, okay, close your eyes and feel into, you know, we did the breathing, we did the, imagine the white light, the cascade, the waterfall of golden light coming down and getting her into this beautiful, relaxed, receptive space. And it's like, what do you want? And she immediately was like, well, I kind of want this, but I can't do that because of this and because of that. And but if I would go, if I really wanted that, but then this would have to happen, and I don't think that's going to happen. And that just totally in her mind. In other words, not imagining that she could explore another story, regardless of the story of her present circumstances. Does that make any sense? So, regardless of the story of her circumstances, it's like she couldn't move into a story that didn't include the current situation, the current story. It's really one thing that I really love about this satsang option, this blank page, infinitely blank. It's like writing on the surface of water. No matter how many things you write on that surface of water, gone before its inception. This is always reliable, always available, completely unwritten, forever unwritten, regardless of what option that one may experience. This is the constant. This is what allows for options to come and go. And so it's really sweet recognizing this because it gives us such permission to explore infinite possibilities, such permission to completely write another story. not bound or limited to the story of our identity and our circumstance. And so after I was like, Mom, I was like, Mom, I so love that you're being so, um, uh, what's the word? That you have such respect for your current situation and your story and what you imagine are your resources, and for this moment let's completely disrespect that shit. Let's not have any respect for that shit. For this moment, why don't you respect your dreams more than your circumstance? Why don't you show more reverence to the possibility than what you imagine is here now and unfolding. Let's imagine what is lights you up on the inside. Let's say you're a little girl who never had all the life experiences and all the apparent responsibilities. Let's allow that little girl to dream. And she immediately was like, I was like, where do you see yourself? What are the smells? She's like, I'm on the ocean. I'm on a beautiful dock, and my boyfriend Willie is right next to me, and he's fishing, and I'm listening to the breeze, and just loving that I get to come out here every day, and that it's not just a vacation or a weekend, but this is my home. I step out of my home and I'm on this dock, and I was like, oh my God, I so love that. Yay. And then the feeling, the energy, the whole room transformed. The whole vibration of the space transformed, and her willingness to open and consider something beyond the story of her identity. And kid you not, I don't even think it was a week later, a dear friend of the family's um, all of a sudden sold a couple of their properties and decided to buy a hotel on the ocean in Key Largo. She bought this hotel on the ocean of Key Largo. And she said, I just bought this new hotel right on the ocean. And the only person I can think of that is the most honest person I know who would be amazing manager of this hotel. And my mom has had experience with hotels. When I was a kid, she managed the hotel in South Beach, her and my father. And she was like, the most honest person I know is your mom. Do you think it's crazy if I ask her if she'd be the manager of my hotel? She'll manage the hotel, and an apartment to live in there, and it's right on the ocean. There's a beautiful dock. There's I was like, what?
That's true.
This is a true
True
story.
story.
A true story. And immediately I was like, yes, my mom would be perfect for that position. And her boyfriend can be the maintenance man. And so that's what came to be. They moved there and they lived there for like 17 years,
What?
right on the ocean with the most beautiful dock. So many of my friends, it was so beautiful, got married at that location. It was so much fun to visit her. She now lives right next door. She's no longer the manager. She lives right next door. She's known as Barbie Kilargi. When it's her birthday, people actually print T-shirts that say Barbie
Oh
Kilargi, and they
my
big old Barbie Kilargi cake. She is quite the character in her community, and she's like Saint Barbie Kilargi, because this beloved who's blind, she does their groceries for them. This beloved who has this thing, she helps them with this and helps with that, and she's everyone's therapist. And
God.
I mean, she is quite the beloved. And so it's just so amazing what is available to us as we soften, as we are willing to recognize how empty our story already is. It's not like we have to erase our story. The only thing that keeps an apparent story alive is the story that there's still a story. In reality, in this moment, this is the divine etch a sketch of all etch a sketches. No story here. This moment need not one story to exist. This moment absolutely free, absolutely free. Awareness free. Notice the part of you. So if I invite you to stop thinking for a moment, just da 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 da, in that open space, not having to think, what's here? What's cognizant? This vivid, loving wakefulness. And then thought may come in, but this power to know, this force of aliveness, this is not bound to any description. This is not limited to conception, time. You, the sky within the sky within the sky within the sky. Infinity within infinity within infinity within infinity. Limitless, free. Already the case. So before I continue, anyone have anything you'd like to share around that exploration of, are you telling the story from your story? And then also the good news of never having to tell a story again. Not needing one story, not needing to consider that there's something called a future, not needing to consider that there's something called a goal or a dream. Beautiful, these options. And then a little bit of a mix and a match if you like. Boundless. You are so free to identify as much as you want and notice not even possible as much as you want. Identify as much as you want, notice not even possible to identify as much as you want.
But it is a choice also to play the game and to identify, right?
That's why I said you're free to identify as much as you want
Yeah,
and free to know
but
that's
it's
not
a
even
choice.
possible. You can bring the mic? And yes, it's this is what's so much fun. So free to totally explore and feel into the flavors and then laugh at the attempt to identify. In other words, beep, 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 beep. Warning, warning, warning. Don't get too close to Satsang. You really like to identify because, ay Dios mío.
It seems as though
Mhm.
sometimes my mind is a trickster.
Okay. Anyone else? Can anyone else relate?
You
Hey.
know,
What up, trickster mind?
so
Okay. Same mind, right?
yeah, it's and then you realize, oh, it's so today I took a nap and I had a really bad dream.
Oh,
I had a dream that I was at the gas station and I was pumping gas and my top was down and someone jumped in, this guy jumped into the car and stole and took off with my car. And my phone was in there, my purse was in there, and he had friends um, that he jumped in the car and left his friends with me. And I was yelling at his friends, and I'm like, "You better call," And I was so terrified in the dream, and that when I woke up, I felt it was so real. That when I woke up, was my body felt it, and it was tensed, and I was sweaty. And when I woke up, I was like, well, first of all, thank God that wasn't real. But I noticed how my body kind of paired up with what I was thinking when I was unconscious, how my body was being affected by it. Then I said to myself, that's kind of what happens when I go into my fear. It triggers this thing, and then it has to make the story of the story I made in my mind
right.
to make sense. And it's all these stories that have to make up that story that I'm believing. And so right now I'm trying to just be in the moment and not um attach or not to believe the stories that are there.
Right. So good. And in this moment, I invite you, don't it all be in the moment,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Mm. So amazing.
So
So
amazing
amazing and so powerful at the same
and
time.
so powerful.
You know, so limitless and so airy,
Yes.
you know,
This bitch is pretty spacious. Yes.
like a feather in the wind, just
Right.
flowing away
Right.
with the wind and being a part of the flow.
Right. Yeah. So great to notice. Yeah. It's this awareness that is delighted and all the ways that it gets to enjoy itself,
Yeah.
experience itself, even as a sentence of mind, a story of the moment, the sentence, and then the way that affects one's biochemistry. And then it's just one word, a feeling, and then that feeling, how that feeling then affects one's actions. And then we're informed by by that sentence and informed by that word. And then we experience the fascinating results that can in most cases, continue the same cycle
Yeah.
over and over
Yeah.
again. I love that. And then also interesting that, identity, wallet, phone, taken, and like, whoa. Yeah. So beautiful. What do you want to share?
Before you did it funny, like da 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 dum. When you said you have the option to exit it all. Like go, like Candice would say it.
Right.
Uh, short moment, or like
Yes.
I write her text still every day, and after every sentence I write SM, and then I have to do one. I have a question to you because
Nice.
you seem to live, go in and out of that two realities so easily. When I really do that with short moment to just go through into the others, it's actually not describable.
Right.
But you kind of describe it, and and I so I sometimes wonder, do I not get it? You know,
Right.
open intelligence. So I want to know how would you experientially describe open intelligence?
Well, I love how you said it's indescribable. And that's the truth. Words, language. What a wondrous poetic limitation.
But it doesn't feel like very spiritual or any of that. It
Right, exactly. That's why I call it the plain ass cracker. Spiritual be we would be the plain ass cracker. Spiritual would be a cracker. Spiritual will picture a crack. Say, let's say you got a cracker. Look, Claudia's going.
yeah,
There's that cracker.
this is
So, in other words, spiritual would be the cracker with a quinoa salad on it, or hummus, or a gluten. Absolutely not bound to any feeling or sensation, totally welcoming every sense of a non conceptual state and expansiveness.
isn't it a state too?
Well, states come and go. This does not come
So
and
what
go.
is it?
It's not anything. That's what's so beautiful. It's not a thing. It's not anything that can be augmented or altered or diminished or taken away. It's just the sweet isness of isness of isness, the suchness of suchness of suchness, the unspeakable, 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 the untellable, 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 the traceless, the traceless, the traceless, the placeless, the placeless, the placeless. It's who you are. What's the sentence of the Tao? The Tao that can be spoken is not the Tao. The Tao that can be captured is not the Tao. The Tao that can be practiced is not the Tao. The Tao that can be captured, held, the Tao that can, it's like forever free, forever solid. This is true solidity. This is what the mountains worship as solid, unmovable, unwavering, equally present with each point of view, mundane point of view, spiritual point of view, everything in between, equally present in this experience of a realm, a death realm, a heaven realm, a hell realm, a magic realm, unmoving, unwavering, and only knows itself. Awareness aware of itself. Mhm.
As you say that,
Oh,
what comes to my mind is first, as a little girl, I used to always ask my mom why. I wanted to know why everything
yeah.
existed. Why does that move like that? Why? And my first word was why, as a child. And my mom, it got on my mom's nerves because I always wanted to know why. And as you were saying that, it, I don't know how to describe it or put it into words, but it's the because is gone because
Yes.
of this. It's not that
Yes.
the
So
because is
good.
gone.
Yes. No because can survive.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. so beautiful. Yeah.
Can I say it yet another way? Because I'm really
Absolutely.
exploring it.
Yes.
So if I if I do that, go through, um, it's not you. You always say beautiful and all, and it kind of not even is especially beautiful.
Right.
It so then I think, oh, I might not get it, or
Right.
um,
Yes. Beautiful
it's
and not beautiful
or it's
and
almost
beyond
it's
beautiful.
nondescript, and
Absolutely.
my mind or my being is used to description, so it's hard to recognize,
Right.
and I don't know how to really um, train that muscle to trust that nondescriptness.
So good. So you need to trust the
Yeah, I'm so
non-descriptedness.
used to descriptness
Is that
world.
true?
Oh,
You need to trust the non-descriptive. Is that true?
it's actually also only an option.
Yay!
Actually, it's also just a
It's
choice
just
in a
an
way.
option.
Yeah, okay, in that sense, no, but it's also yes, yes and no. It's true. It's true.
But only yes and no to the descriptive mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is okay. The mind is synonymous with description. There's no mind without description. And in this moment, there's no description.
Well, it's a little bit a different
Really?
world.
It's a little what, sorry?
It's just like a slightly different world. It's a different. The denser world is all in relationship with each other, defined and described, and it's very fascinating. And
Yeah.
then, if you go like one space more gaseous or you're less material, it's then these descriptions do not play a role, but it still is the same in a way.
Beautifully put. Yes.
So, what is there to say yes to?
Okay. What's always saying yes to you? Yeah. Share more.
I said, what is there to say yes to?
The nondescript reality as an option.
Yes to the isness. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like say the yes and it will dissolve on its own.
It's more like an airplane. The yes sends you in the right direction. It's like an airplane, or a paper.
It
It
certainly has
sent
its place.
well,
Yes.
it sends you in the right direction, but almost in the flight, it dissolves itself, but it sent you there.
Yes, it's like an intention so appropriate. And there's a moment that it dissolves. Any sense of someone saying something or doing something or altering something or choosing something or optioning something can't even be found. And it's the bottomless, surfaceless, drop the ocean, overflowing roar of this sweet solidity, this pure Amrita. that's fully available for all the flow, all the emanations, all the, even in that recognition, in that lived, embodied knowing. Such a delight to be a son and to be brother and to wear fun things and to have a microphone and have a YouTube channel. You know, it's so sweet. It's not the opposite of that. It doesn't mean the end of that. It's actually you're more present, and the sense of appreciation and gratitude is uncontrived and genuine, and such a willingness also for there to be no gratitude and no anything. It's so open and free and doesn't have to look like anything or feel like anything. It's like all of a sudden you are not someone choosing or exploring or navigating or, but who you are primarily is the space of loving safety for all emotions. I mean, what a place of sovereignty, what a peace. You know, we were doing the 4E challenge today. If you're interested to know what that is, go to elementalchallenge.com. My dear friend Deborah Silverman. And someone asked me about this peace and this joy and this, and do I ever experience any, and I was like, beloved, I was in the dishwater. You know, it's kind of like in this opening, this recognition of this option of openness, all of a sudden it gave me permission and enough space to finally meet all the unresolved trauma, to meet all the pain, to meet all the fear, to meet all the discomfort. Before that, you're identified as a character who's constantly attempting to cope, and in that cope maybe get involved in all kinds of addictive tendencies, so innocent, and in that cope running away from something or trying to get really busy or become real successful or real, but in this annihilation of a separate self. It wasn't the end. I love how Papaji talks about it from the space of, you know, there's the fan going, and when you unplug the fan, the blades don't immediately stop. Maybe for some beloveds, know that that's an option. In reality, yes, there's no blade ever happened. But in the poetic sense of a deepening and an unfolding and an evolutionary dream, you know, it's like the blades, even though it's the fan is unplugged, the momentum of the blades keep going. And that's what I love about this option of being a space of safety.
Permission slip to be very forgiving towards yourself.
Absolutely.
In that phase, when the
In that phase,
but it's not
yes.
still on. That's just a natural law. It's not I'm a bad person. It's feedback.
Right.
It's aftershocks.
Yeah, it's not I'm a bad person. It's not I'm flawed or I'm forever flawed. It's not I'm stupid. It's not I'm broken. It's not I'm tarnished. It's not I'm bad.
No resistance.
It's not I'm resistant. It's not I'm unconscious. It's not I can't get it. It's not, oh, this is my karma. All of that can be there. But in that space and the welcome, oh my gosh. What I love about that welcome, speaking of the sweet evolutionary wisps, is that we allow for those energies to actually evolve. So what we thought was sadness held in absolute reality of who we are, spacious, plain ass cracker of awareness, not doing anything with it, not trying to fix it, not trying to change it, not trying to wake it up, not trying to vanish it, banish it, but just allowing it to be as it is. It's the most delicious ecosystem where everything cannot help but evolve. And that evolution looks like a dissolve. Particles, yeah. Yeah, just mist and sunlight. Mist and sunlight. And then how sweet you get to show up from that space. I love that I love sharing sessions. I love sharing individual sessions and meeting people exactly where they are, and which is meeting them knowing they're completely free as awareness itself. No dream is ever truly a dream. Everything exalts. Anything out of someone's mouth, no matter how dense the story or how heavy the story or how apparently uh, encased the trauma or baked into one's bone marrow, soul marrow, the trauma, still absolutely free and clear. Every word is saying, I am free, I'm aware. Every circumstance, I'm free, I'm aware. Every sensation, I'm free, I'm aware. That's all anyone is ever saying. I'm free, I'm aware. While still meeting from that space and finding it in myself. There's only one mind here, there's only one self here with itself. And to, oh my gosh, for some beloveds, they've never been in the presence, in the permission slip of humans and interactions and a relational energetic transmission transaction. They're not in the presence of someone who just allows them to be just as they are, allowing for all of their, and it's such a sweet gift. In that space again, it's training wheels, for them to discover, oh, I have that option to meet myself in that space. And then, oh, it's just me. Oh, I've only ever been talking to me. So this is just myself. Yeah. And that's an option to not have to fix our minds, our sensations, our energy fields, our chakras, our, but to allow to be as they are. The intelligence of this forever healthy aliveness permeates every apparent dream, and everything gets to evolve in the light of an uninterrupted alignment with what's real and true. Ugh, it's so sweet and indescribable. And the words may come, and still every word fails. Every word fails. Mm. I fucking love this option to see that it's possible for everyday human beings to show up as loving support for one another. Oh my God, I can cry for days at the beauty of that, of the potential in that. Cry for days. I like to say that in my story of a humanity awakening, I'm sure we've, in our particular subculture of spirituality, we've heard the stories of, ascending and reaching a critical mass where everyone wakes up and and we realize it's all but a dream. And before the laughter, before the flying, before the dissolving, before the, oh, I'm traveling to before fixing your Merkaba, whatever it might be in this dream of an ascension. In my story of it, we all as a humanity collapse into each other's arms and we cry for days and days and days and weeks. A cry of, oh, I'm, it's the Ho'oponopono. Are you familiar with the Ho'oponopono prayer? That ancient Hawaiian prayer of, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. It's like, wow, the things we did in our innocence of misidentification and the trance of misidentification. Wondrous. And how it's a real everyday option. I'm a total just plain ass cracker dude. Plain ass cracker dude. It's more of like a Cuban cracker. But what I'm saying that is that it's so sweet that this is for everyday, ordinary people. Like for all of us, we don't have to be born under some auspicious star. We don't have to have blue skin. We don't have to be Hindi or Tibetan Buddhist or Zen or belong to any particular religion. You know, it's like every day, mothers, fathers, uncles, sons, daughters, everybody recognizing at the technology of, oh, there's options here. How do I, and I love one of my favorite technologies is the work from Byron Katie. Lord have mercy. Such a joy. The option to learn how to question our assumptions, question our thoughts, question the projected label that we have on the hologram that's here. Even if hologram feels stressful, question that. Everything can be questioned. And then we get familiar, we notice, oh, wow, yeah, when I experience the world, the moment through this story, this is how my body feels. This is how I see people. This is how I see the past. This is how I see the future. I notice there's not a lot of energy to do anything. I notice I'm fucking pissed. I notice I don't like who I am. I notice it's just a cesspool of unquestioned assumptions and stories. Nothing wrong with it. Again, innocent. Innocent, my favorite word. Innocent, 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 innocent. Innocent and not lasting. None of that's ever stored in a Tupperware. It's gone already now. You may need the permission slip of the experience of time and maybe a retreat and maybe an awakening and maybe this or that or a spiritualist. But that's just a permission slip. The wholeness that you are, absolutely solid and complete now. Anyone else want to share anything? Go on.
So right now, because of my condition, I have to, both hips are pretty bad. I was born with hip dysplasia and was a runner all my life, and I wasn't unaware that, you know, what was happening to my hips. And so my right one is more than halfway gone. And you know, I've had to quit my job because I can't be on my feet much anymore. And I'm at home, and it's it's allowing me to be in a space where I I'm I'm just I am just, you know, there's no character that I have to build, or there's no why there, you know, there's no blaming or no I'm in a space of n- not having to create all these different characters of myself to exist, because I'm still here, even with the, you know, a broken avatar body, you know, I'm, this still exists. And this is still, there's beauty that exists. There's existence that exists. It's almost like the universe is teaching me um, that I am without all anything.
Yeah. And that you are even with everything,
Yes,
a bunch of things.
right, right. Even with this broken hip, even with this, I'm still
Mm,
here,
mm.
and so I'm
Yeah.
learning to um, just just be, just be, and it's such it's just such a beautiful moment and
Mhm.
a peaceful moment, and it's not like awakening, or it's just there.
Yes. So beautifully put. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just here. Yeah. This is the uninterrupted. And then it's like peace, regardless of circumstance. Oh, peace. Peace and flexibility and openness. You know what I love in this piece, as you're speaking, it's so beautiful, the acceptance of whatever is, and then also the radical and the spaciousness, that to even be open, not as a way of denying, not as a way of belittling, not as a way of, but also even be available to a whole new emanation of the moment. So, for example, if there's a sense of an ailment or what I notice I say is, oh, I appreciate that suggestion. And in this moment, my hip is totally fine. Or in this moment, it's 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 really, really interesting how there's room for all the possibilities. It's like in the full acceptance and total at peace, and the nothing wrong with going through the process of getting the hip replacement and meeting with the doctors, and absolute peace and reality. And there's also the option of considering maybe that's a story too. And in this moment, I am willing for another expression of this emanation. Some spiritual teachers, it's not what I talk about. I love bringing people to notice that total freedom of what is. But in the game and the joy and the emanation, it's like there's this thing of every timeline existing simultaneously, every possible possibility, like with quantum physics, quantum mechanics. And at every moment, we could explore a whole other, it's like surfing timelines. So we're never bound, even though circumstance tells us this is what's happening with our bodies, this is what's happening to the world, this is what's happening. We could receive that and then consider, and I'm so excited about another option, another timeline. Maybe that's for another evening. But in other words, in this freedom, this total roaring freedom of being, nothing is solid. There is no you and there is no hip. There is no you and there is no circumstance. There is no you and there is no planet. There is no you and there is no. And it's like all love could ever do and be is itself, regardless. It's like full on willingness. What I love about willingness is that in the absolute willingness to have an health issue, there's also the willingness to be completely doing cartwheels all over the place, healthy. In the willingness to have a partner leave, There's also the willingness for the partner to plot twist and surprise your ass with a trip to Greece. Who knows? It's like in that spaciousness, it's like unbound, unlimited, unlimited. I always say, I appreciate the suggestion for every interpretation, every appearance, every. I love that. I love that suggestion, and still free. You know, in some subcultures, the exploration of law of attraction teachings can be such a way to hate oneself, another way to not be enough, to not do it right, to not be good enough, to not be smart enough, to not be have the right vibration, to not have the right beliefs, to not have the right. And then I try and I try and then it's still not unfolding. It's still not manifesting. It's still not. That's not what I'm talking about. That's still in the space of mind. But in the melting into the meltedness of the wholeness one is. It's like, I love how, what's her name? Florence, or maybe it's not even Florence. I am not moved by appearances. Therefore, appearances move. I am not moved by appearances. Therefore, appearances move. And any description is an appearance. Any diagnosis is an appearance. Any circumstance is an appearance. Any results of anything is an appearance, not solid. And my other favorite word, plot twist. Plot twist. Oh, I thought, oh, plot twist. Oh, a plot twist. Oh, plot twist. And then it's like, how else plot twist? So like the plot of a movie, and then all of a sudden, oh, I never saw that coming. Oh, I thought this was the momentum. This was the trajectory. And then, whoa, plot, the twist of the plot, the plot twist. Yeah, complete shift in story. Complete. That's where that song that I wrote that says, sometimes it feels like it'd take 1,000 years for the human race to heal all this pain that causes us to be such fuckers. Yes, it feels like it'd take 1,000,000 more till we're willing to explore inner space and realize that our true name is perfect love. Perfect love. I know that's how it feels. But all could shift in a blink. Perfect love, perfect love, for only love is real, and all could shift enough. Sometimes the eyes see the opposite of peace, and love's a beggar on its knees, longing for the day its value is acknowledged. And those walls we build just keep getting taller. Here's God's number, someone call her and recommend that she consider another flight. But only this time of sacred love. perfect love. This love is always here. And we're fish saying, where's it at? Perfect love, perfect love. The ocean's always here. And we're all waves on our back. Perfect love doesn't mean not suggesting or doing nothing and not suggesting that there are other ways. No, this love just allows us to breathe deeper and think clearer and be kind. Humankind, not human creeper. Oh. Gate ade varam gate vadazam gate bodhiswaha. Gate varam gate bodhiswaha. Gate varam gate Arasangate Bodhiswaha Gate Varangate Varasangate Bodhiswaha Gate Varangate Varasangate Bodhiswaha Gate Bodhi Gate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha Gate Parasam Gate Beyond the Beyond. Mama say mama sa 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 beyond. Beyond. Mm. Loving intelligence is here. May it be more and more obvious. A world of peace and harmony. Emanation, a hologram that works for all. Ever overflowing, loving abundance. Here, may it be more and more obvious. Health, May it be more and more obvious. Nourishment here. May it be more and more obvious. Loving consciousness absolutely here. May it be more and more obvious. The love that infuses every realm, every dimension, every density, every frequency. Here, already, just as this moment is, may it be more and more obvious. Freedom, fully here. May it be more and more obvious. No one here for any experience of obvious. May it be more and more obvious. Thank you, loves, for this satsang. For this time together. Yay. I'll be here next week. It might be the last satsang next week, or I might do one more on the 30th. Um, until I come back in February.
You're a whole month gone?
Yes,
Where?
to Kauai. I'll be in Kauai.
Are you doing more of the 4E stuff?
Yes, but the 4E retreats are going to be March like 21st to the 24th to the 25th to the 28th in Kauai. And then there's going to be 2 more retreats in September, towards the end of September in Boulder, right?
I was on this morning, yes.
Oh,
I
you
would,
were nice.
yeah, I love it. Whenever you come on and your contributions, I can just hitchhike on. I would love if we once do a satsang just on those 4 elements, how you understand it.
Yay.
Because I got a lot out of it, but it was all a spread out one, you know,
Right,
very long.
right.
I would love to get more the essence.
Yeah, I'd love to
Yeah.
share.
Remind me of the cards.
Oh, yes, I'll give you the cards. Yes.
Is there any more? I missed this morning. Is there any other ones that are happening this week?
No, today was the last one, but you could watch the ones you didn't see.
Okay.
They're all on
On the
email.
She
The
sent all
Come
the
Study
link
You.
afterwards.
yeah. Well, I'm in the
In the Come Study You?
yeah.
Okay, great. Go to Come Study You, and they're all there. You can
Okay.
look at the different days. It was really, really, really sweet. Yeah.
Don't
What
we
do
have
you
something
where do you
for
find it?
4E though Wednesday? I thought
Sorry?
there's something for 4E on Wednesday
There is. This is for the people that have been
Right.
at the
for the
retreats,
facilitator.
for the facilitators,
Yes,
right?
on
Right,
Wednesday.
right, right.
Mm.
So that's for
The one
those.
today was beautiful, the extra lady.
Yeah, with Emily
Oh,
Fletcher, I think her name is.
she was
Yeah, she was wonderful.
wonderful.
We were talking about bufo and making love to the great redwood trees, and it was like, all right, hey, bring it all on. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Where do you find that
Mastery.
stuff?
If you go to elementalchallenge.com and you sign up, you'll get access to the Come Study You, which is like a Come Study You. It's kind of like a Facebook that's just specific for people coming together for different modalities to explore and to share. And so that's the platform that they're using for this for Elemental, the 4E,
Your channel.
elementalchallenge.com. No, I haven't turned it off. If I want to just share to everyone, uh, please reach out. I have space available for new clients if you want to work together one on one to go a little bit deeper with this option. I have space available now for 2025 and would love to connect. So go to my website, ashruis.com, for that option. And if you'd like to leave a donation, you can do so via Venmos and all those other things. The links should be up down there or definitely my website. And have a beautiful holiday. Thank you so much. Yay. Please, I never say this, but it's so fun. My friends are always telling me, say like and I subscribe. Like and subscribe and share and press the notification button for when these satsangs are live. And that could be so much fun. All right, awesome. So sweet. Thank you.
There is no